Hey guys, and welcome to the latest episode of Cultured Boys, a show where two guys just talk about a bunch of stuff. Changes every week. We have no plan exactly. But today, I'm here, as always, with my wonderful co-host, Pepe. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, man, I'm all good. I'm not going to do a cringy intro this time
Why not? They're the best.
because I know I'm really like restraining myself right now. It's like I'm really, like, can you like hear it in my voice that like I really want to say something cringy, but like I'm stopping. I'm very good, Nathan. Very well.
It's not even I can hear it in your voice. I can just feel the energy emanating through the internet. I can feel you hold it back through the internet.
You don't even need to watch this. You don't even need to watch this episode to tell how much I'm holding this back right now.
Oh man. Right. That aside, this week do you know what? I just want to chat about old cartoons, mate.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let me correct myself already. Not specifically cartoons, right? Like animations. Let's just say animations. Broader scale, right? Because when we were growing up, there was a lot of really good cartoons and animations out there. A lot. I mean, for us, it's probably mostly focused on Cartoon Network because, like, in the 90s, what kid didn't watch Cartoon Network?
Like it's like that was like the main staple of my TV watching as a kid. There's other bits as well. There's like for us anyway, there was CBBC, which is like if you don't have the basic 5 channels, as a kid you'd be watching CBBC or CITV, one of the two.
My God. Although I didn't really like the stuff on there. I found a lot of it wasn't very good.
No, I think it was very it is like sort of you take what you can get with those things.
Yeah.
Although I'd say this, like there are some shows on there that I could appreciate, but I'll get back to that like when we actually start talking.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you could just jump into it because I am actually.
You want to jump into it? Okay, cool.
I'm curious as to what these shows are because personally I didn't think there were any, but you appreciate some, so.
So that like I'm specifically talking about CITV. CBBC had like the cartoons on there. Like that was like cool. There was like some on there like you'd hit like 4 o'clock or whatever, and you'd be like, okay, cool. There's like stuff like Jungle Run or whatever and those sort of things. But like CITV had Digimon.
Okay.
That's right. This isn't exactly the cartoon / animation I was expecting to start off with.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Did you not?
Like I genuinely didn't know that British kids primetime TV had bloody Digimon. I watched it on Fox Kids.
See, that's the thing. I think it did originally start on Fox Kids, but at some point on CITV they started showing episodes of Digimon. I think it was Digimon Fusion. Correct me if I'm wrong. But like it was like the second season, so like you had Tai originally, and then you had
Davis.
the second generation of Digimon.
Yeah, so I remember the main kid was Davis, and Max's little brother and Ty's little sister was in it because they were slightly older.
It's exactly that, and like that's the one thing I remember most about CITV. It was like I'd like it was mainly during the summer holidays, and I'd like come back home like because I was staying at my nan's or whatever at the time, and like I'd always get back for 3:30, and at 3:30 that's when like Digimon was on. And I always remember I was like catching up to date with all these episodes. I probably focused more on Digimon at that point in the second wave or second series than I did the first wave. Because I did like know all the Agumon and like other Digimon.
Yeah, all the Agumon.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this straight up now. I'm gonna say this straight up now. I don't remember much about Digimon at all. Like I don't. I just remember the fact that I absolutely loved watching it every day as a kid.
I watched a lot of Digimon. I specifically remember I had some family friends. They lived across the street, and the first episode of Digimon. They finished watching it and they ran across the street, right? Burst through my front door and went, Nathan, have you heard of this thing called Digimon? They're way better than Pokemon. Pokemon, they evolve and they're stuck like that. But Digimon, they go back. And I was like, as a kid, I was like, what are you talking about? That sounds stupid. And lo and behold, I actually, for a little while as a kid, I actually did prefer Digimon over Pokemon. But
Wow.
But no, you know, as a kid, I never said that to anyone because you'd probably get the shit kicked out of you because every other kid was like, "It's Pokemon, Digimon's lame, it's a copy." And
I'm gonna say like yeah, it was the fact that the names are so similar, so like you can't avoid the conflict between Digimon and Pokemon like right from the get go.
I'm sorry that both series aren't very original, and one is called Pocket Monsters and one is Digital Monsters. God.
I mean, let's face it. Like I was always a Pokemon fan over Digimon. Like I'd always choose Pokemon over it. But like Digimon did have its like, it was pretty good. I'm not gonna deny that. It was a good show. I never played any of the games.
I've played so many of them.
I did have the little is it the Digivice or whatever the
Basically, the boys Tamagotchi.
yeah, I'm a Tamagotchi again of the second wave of Digimon.
Which I actually learned because, you know, for at least us here in the UK, we all were all like, oh, Digimon's like this new anime, right? It's copying Pokemon, but it was actually originally made to be a boys Tamagotchi because they're like, oh, boys don't really play Tamagotchi in Japan, it's too girly. So they went and made Digimon because they were like, oh yeah, boys like dinosaurs and robots and guns.
I didn't know that was the origin. I really didn't know that.
Yeah. No, it actually started like that, and then it became an anime to push more toys and more more Digivices and stuff.
Interesting.
And then when it came over here, we had the show first, and then we had all the merchandise. So we thought it was the other way round, but actually that's how it was. Japan started off with the Digivices, like the original ones that look like just like a brick, like a little brick. They even, a lot of the old ones, if you've seen it, even I think they even do have like the fake brick like pattern in the plastic. But that's how Digimon started.
That's interesting. I did not know that. Nice, and learn something new every day.
But to your previous point, I also had the Digivices. I had the first one, the second gen, the third gen. I had the first three. I don't know where they are now. I think I've got the first one around here somewhere, and the second one. I don't remember where the third one went. I might have lost it.
I don't even remember the third gen of Digimon. I only remember the first and second ones.
I remember the third one because that was the one with the like swiping thing. So like,
so it was an e-reader.
yeah, it was, but that was because it fit in also to the story of the third one. The third one is like, oh, all these kids are really into playing the it's a mixture between the Digivices and a card game.
Okay, so they're tapping into that Yu-Gi-Oh audience now, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. So like, you know, you still got your Digivice and you still raise your Digimon, but you've got like these cards that have abilities or whatever, and you swipe the card and then your Digimon does a move.
Okay.
But then in the series, the main kid, I think his name is Takeshi or something. He wants an original Digimon, so he finds this like blank card and then he like draws his own Digimon or some shit on it and swipes it, and then it becomes real.
That's a dangerous game doing that, man. Like if you're bad at drawing, you could come up with like a monstrosity right there.
Like the only other thing I remember about that series is being a Asian kid, right? Growing up, all of a sudden, randomly, I know that it's set in Japan, but randomly they just start like spitting out random Cantonese phrases. Like,
really?
Yeah, at some point they just start going "mo man te," which is like no problem. Translates to basically no problem, or like no worries. But I have no idea why. It just randomly happens in the episode. Like the main character like turns around and says to his Digimon Guilmon, "Mo man te," and then like he starts saying it. I'm like, why am I hearing my own native tongue? What is this? I thought this was Japan.
What the hell? Jesus. Okay. Interesting. That's like...
It's just like, I didn't realize it as a kid, I guess because I was hearing Chinese all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But Po from Teletubbies actually counts in Chinese, like Cantonese.
Really?
So you know when Po gets on the scooter, it's like yat yi sam fadi fadi. So that in Cantonese, that's 1 2 3, faster faster.
What the hell? That's nuts. What?
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing. As a Chinese kid who spoke Cantonese for a while, right? I didn't realize until I got much older and I stopped speaking Cantonese that I was like, oh wait, the Teletubbies was speaking my language. Like they literally were. One of them was speaking my native tongue. And I could tell I've blown your mind.
If I had no context about that, if someone came up to me in the street and said the Teletubbies are speaking my language, they're just telling me my native tongue, I'd be like, what kind of drug are you on? What is this? I did not know that.
Yeah, well, see, for you lot though, like everyone else, that's pretty normal because they speak English, right? But when you're a fucking foreign kid and you hear your actual native tongue in an English show, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Jeez.
I don't what? But yeah, I'm like, I blew your mind and probably a few other people's minds.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, okay.
it's weird. I can't think of any other examples, but like it does happen sometimes where you sort of hear another language or you hear like your own native tongue and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Jeez. Okay, fair.
I'm just spewing off all sorts of random facts today.
My mind is actually blown. What the hell? I did not expect this when we started this episode.
I wasn't expecting it too, but you want to talk about languages in another cartoon? The best cartoon episode of a language is Dexter's Laboratory, Omelette du Fromage.
Omelette du fromage.
Do you remember that? He has a
God.
fucking French test and he goes to sleep, listens to one of those tapes, and it just gets stuck on Omelette du Fromage. Omelette du Fromage. Omelette du Fromage.
That shit is stuck in my brain for the rest of my life.
I think a lot of 90s kids, that's stuck in our brain. Because he... Do you remember he like goes to France and that's all he says, but he becomes the most famous person. He gets a recording contract. And I remember him being in like a booth going, Omelette du fromage.
Fuck. Jesus Christ, just getting so many flashbacks from this now. Fucking hell. I need to find where I can find all these old Dexter's Laboratory episodes because like that show was amazing.
I mean, if you think about it, it's amazing how often we heard a foreign language in old cartoons. Because I'm now just thinking Super Cow was speaking Spanish.
Of course, yeah, Super Cow Arrascate. Is that it? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like stuck in my mind. I probably pronounced it probably awfully there.
I mean, I couldn't do any better and I studied Spanish, so.
Like, oh god, that's another thing. Cow and chicken, man. Like, I think it moved over like from Dexter's Laboratory so fast there. But like, there's.
Yeah, I mean, we can jump back and forth. They were both on Cartoon Network in the 90s. They were both really good cartoons. Dexter's Laboratory was a bit more structured. Cow and Chicken was sort of like a variety show, I guess, in a way. Because it didn't. The premise was just that a cow and a chicken were born to two humans, and then whatever happens. So it was a bit more random.
The two humans were just legs as well. That's the weird thing about that show.
Yeah.
It was kind of like Ren and Stimpy if Ren and Stimpy was a lot more tame, because like that's saying a lot
Ren and
as well.
Stimpy,
Like,
to get to Cow and Chicken's level, you would basically have to cut out like 95% of that show.
God,
I can't believe we were allowed to watch Ren and Stimpy, by the way, but we'll get to that.
yeah. But yeah, Dexter's Laboratory, Cow and Chicken, like they were because it wasn't Cow and Chicken paired with another show as well.
I Am Weasel, yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. Like, and then I Are Baboon.
Yeah, because you don't need pants for the victory dance, because I are better than Weasel.
Yeah, better than Weasel. I can't remember the rest of the song, but like literally,
I do, but just for copyright reasons, I won't.
Imagine if they come back like a
could you
90s
imagine?
show just comes in copyright.
Yeah, Cartoon Network comes after us because we sung the I Am Weasel theme song.
Wow, Jesus.
Like super small time YouTubers as well. Like we just started and we're like, oh, sorry guys, we have to end because Cartoon Network got us for the I Am Weasel theme song.
Jesus Christ. What a way to go.
My legacy.
The legacy. But no, those shows are like, I feel like Cow and Chicken was random though. Like that was the thing of Cow and Chicken. It was like there was some structure to the episode. Do you remember there was like a Kick the Can episode
I actually don't.
where basically I think it was Chicken gets stuck in a like a virtual game.
Oh yeah,
And
no.
it's called Kick the
Yeah,
Can.
yeah.
And it's like Kick the Can.
Yeah. Oh, now that you said it, like it's come flooding back. Oh my god.
I low-key hated that episode as well, I'm not gonna lie. It's stuck in my mind, the Kick the Can episode, but I think I actually really disliked it as a kid. Because like that's the thing, when you watch Cartoon Network, like you'll, no doubt about it, you'll be watching Cow and Chicken and you'll end up watching about that same episode 5 times because it just keeps on re-airing.
I mean, Cow and Chicken also, like, it was. I don't think it had that many episodes, so it really was just a lot of reruns. And, like, each episode wasn't incredibly long. I mean, the equivalent today is like watching a random animator on YouTube, you know, for like a 2 to 5 minute video. Like, Cow and Chicken wasn't really that long. It was like I think it was 2 shorts and then I Am Weasel. Like, so 2.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
It was basically 2 episodes of Cow and Chicken and I Am Weasel, but that made like one whole episode.
Yeah, that filled up a half hour for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you say half hour, it probably filled up 15 minutes, and we actually sat and watched 15 minutes of adverts, but...
That's a very good point as well, yeah.
Because that was also a key part of watching cartoons as a kid in the 90s. You just watched a lot of, like, adverts for toys and whatever else.
And then, like, it wasn't even just toys, though. It was, like, random, like home insurance and stuff as well would come on that time. And like,
oh, yeah.
It was weird.
You'd watch all sorts. But that's because, you know, the thought is, well, what else are you going to do in the 90s? Internet wasn't like a massive thing yet. We didn't really have anything. You were just a kid probably playing a Game Boy, sat in front of the TV, and your parents weren't too far behind.
You'd be multitasking either way. Like, even if like that's a good thing about the reruns though, because they'd be on, but you wouldn't necessarily be paying attention to them. Like, you just be there, like, half paying attention, like, oh, okay, cool, I remember this, and then...
Yeah, except now that now that we're so old and we're trying to be nostalgic, I'm like, I really only can properly remember 2 episodes of Cow and Chicken, but that's because they were my 2 favorites. It's the submarine episode and the ketchup episode.
The ketchup episode. There's certain bit. That's the thing. I can't actually... It's like what you said. I can't remember too many episodes about it. But I do remember certain parts of the episode. So, like, was it pork butts and taters?
Yeah, I mean, that was like the key meal. That was their favorite meal.
Yeah.
And it was served in a catapult for some reason.
That's how random it is. It's like this fucking pork butts and taters. And then there was the red guy in it.
Yeah, he was basically your secondary character that just filled in all the spots.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to keep animating other people.
I feel like Red Guy was just there. I don't think like he really interacted with Cow and Chicken that much.
I mean, he did and he didn't. It depended on the episode, but like if they, instead of like, for example, in the ketchup episode, he's the cafeteria lady. Instead of making a bunch of cafeteria ladies, it's just Red Guy. And like, that's the kind of thing Red Guy would do. You know, when you need a secondary character, but you don't want to make a whole new character. So he'd be like, oh, if the episode revolved around getting the bus, he'd be the bus driver. Or, you know, if they went somewhere and they needed a key person, he would be the person instead of like a new person.
God. Oh, man, this is so nostalgic. Like,
I know,
just
right?
Talking about these things. Jeez.
I used to love Red Guy. He actually used to be my favorite.
He's hilarious. He was funny. Right, okay. Let's talk Ren and Stimpy for a second.
Here we
because Ren and Stimpy was I you know what? As like if it was just cartoons, like if I had to go for any as a kid, Ren and Stimpy was my favorite. I did not, and I tell you this now, I didn't get half of the real references in that show. I just thought, I looked at it and I saw like butt jokes or whatever and I thought it was funny, and then it'd be like, there were certain bits where it was just like absolutely bonkers as hell and stuff I really didn't pick up as a kid, but I absolutely loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
I didn't like it as a kid because it was a lot of like gross out humor, and I didn't like that as a kid.
Okay.
Because at least when I was watching it as a kid, like it often was on at 9 o'clock or beyond, like after Watershed.
Was it?
At least for me on like Nickelodeon or whatever.
I feel like they played it in the middle of the day.
Oh, I'm sure they did play it in the middle of the day for other channels, but like I only ever saw it after like 9 o'clock when I shouldn't have been up.
Yeah.
And that's why like I didn't really like it. It like creeped me out as a kid because you know like the animation is like very detailed at times, and it is very gross out humor. And I even nowadays I could understand it, but it wouldn't be my first choice to watch.
Yeah.
I know it's good, and loads of people love Ren and Stimpy. And don't get me wrong, I love Stimpy. As a design, Stimpy's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really didn't like it as a kid. It creeped me out. It's like I didn't like other cartoons for the same reason. Like A lot of cartoons after a while just like creep me out because of the content.
I get that. I think like yeah, there's certain bits of Ren and Stimpy where like I look back in it now and I'm like, Jesus Christ, how like you said, how was this allowed on children's TV? Like it was like there's some really.
It's very easy to understand when you really think back, right? It's because the 90s, no one gave a shit.
Mm-hmm.
The 90s was a time where you almost did whatever you want because no one fucking cared.
Yeah, there's a lot of I think right now in this day and age, if you showed Ren and Stimpy on a children's channel,
Oh, you
yeah, that show would get shut down immediately. Like,
yeah, the amount of people that would be on all sorts of socials like complaining, Ren and Stimpy would be off the air as quick as.
it just reminded me of the one time that The Simpsons referenced Ren and Stimpy. I don't know if you remember this at all, but I think Bart makes reference to it, like, oh yeah, people like said Ren and Stimpy was cool, and then Marge says, when was the last time you ever heard anyone talk about Ren and Stimpy?
Wow.
That's the only time I remember, like, I've ever heard Ren and Stimpy referenced outside of a show, but it was on TV.
Wow.
But yeah.
Simpsons throwing that shade.
Yeah, they were, man. The Simpsons threw a lot of shade at a lot of things back in the day.
Dude, I mean, maybe we'll talk about Simpsons in this episode. I feel like Simpsons could have its whole own episode because
100%. Yeah, there's so much content in there.
Well, I mean, I saw a headline on Twitter last night, like, and the headline was Simpsons may end before its milestone 1000th episode, and I was like, what the fuck, 1000 episodes?
I'm surprised they haven't hit 1000 episodes before. Not gonna lie, it's been going on for ages.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, again, I don't know if we'll talk about Simpsons. We can maybe do a couple of references if you want, but like Simpsons has been around so long and been in so many people's lives at different points. I feel like Simpsons could be its own episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about Simpsons another time because I feel like there's so many other cartoons and stuff that I want to go through.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But what you were saying about the creepy stuff, the creepy shows and that. One show again that I absolutely loved as a kid, probably like second or first. I think you know what I'm gonna say here.
Yeah.
Is
I'm always on the outside of this.
Yeah. Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. They're like literally that show, like it was creepy. But like it was like again, it was kind of like gross out humor as well, like you said.
It was too creepy.
Yeah, it was very creepy.
That's what's different between Courage and Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy grossed me out as a kid. Didn't like it because of that. Courage the Cowardly Dog, as a kid, I genuinely did sort of get scared, and that's why I didn't watch it.
See, that's the thing. I was scared of a lot of things as a kid. Like I was literally like a crybaby. But like Courage the Cowardly Dog, though, I absolutely love that show because I think it was like the weird CG, the bit that everyone is terrified. That shit actually like hit a mark with me. I was like, this looks cool. And there's the one episode, and I think you might know it. It's the slab episode. I think it's King Ramsay's Revenge. Did you ever see that?
Oh, is that the one with the really, really creepy looking like polygonal 3D model that like comes out from the desert and
yeah, and he's like return the slab.
Yeah. That's the one.
That is like probably like everyone's like most terrifying episode, and it's actually one of my favorite episodes in general as a kid.
I can prove you wrong there.
What is it?
The one that got me the most was, do you remember there was an episode about a spider woman, and it was she came out of like the water, right? Mm-hmm. And there was one part of the episode that freaked me out the most because I am not a big fan of spiders. I wouldn't say I have arachnophobia, but I probably do have some minor form of it. Mm-hmm. There was one scene where Courage was in the bathroom and a giant fucking spider comes out of the toilet. I was never more scared to use the toilet as a kid than after that episode. I genuinely, for years, would check the toilet before I used it. I would open the lid and look in there before I used it because I was scared a spider was going to come up through the fucking pipe and bite me in the ass or whatever. Like, I was so scared a giant spider was going to bite me as I was taking a dump.
I mean, like, were you even watching Courage the Cowardly Dog unless like something like stayed with you with your childhood, from your childhood? I feel like that's like...
That's very true. That is very true. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little traumatized just remembering the spider thing right now. I'm a fully grown adult, by the way. I'm not gonna check the toilet, but God, the memories of that. Seriously.
There was one other part from Courage the Cowardly Dog which has stuck with me, but it wasn't necessarily stuck with me at the time, but I found it at a later date. because I think Courage ended up being on Netflix at one point. And what was it? There's this episode like where like I can't remember what the context is of it, but it's like some random like barracuda comes out of the bathtub and starts talking to Courage, and he's like he's talking about perfection and stuff, and it's a really profound quote, and it's just like. It's just a barracuda out of a bathtub talking to him, and it disappears again. And it has no context within the rest of the show. It's just like a quote about perfection. And you think like, what the fuck was this show? This show is high on drugs, but yeah, it was so... I'll try and find it because it is like the best fucking quote ever.
See, there's only like small other things that like stuck with me through that cartoon. And like one is, I can't remember the context for it either, but Muriel, the old lady, is constantly going, "How now, brown cow?"
Oh god, yeah, it's that Scottish accent sort of thing, isn't it? Like...
And, you know, the obvious, "Stupid dog, you made me look bad."
Iconic, absolutely iconic.
But I don't know why. I often, when I think of Courage the Cowardly Dog, I do often think of Muriel going, "How now, brown cow?" That's actually probably where, as a kid, I might have learned to do a minor Scottish accent.
Yeah. Oh god.
It's just doing that again and again and again until probably my parents told me to shut up.
I mean, yeah. If my kid just kept on saying, "How now, brown cow," in a weird accent, I'll just be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Hey, it could be worse. Like, my mum got away with it because I've seen online people who reminisce about the Pokemon anime, and they always talk about the Diglett song, but I never did that as a kid.
Oh my god. Dig a dig, trio, trio, trio.
Yeah, see, I didn't do that as a kid, so really, I feel like my mum got off lucky with me just doing "How now, brown cow."
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man, we're not painting our generation very well, are we?
Remember 90s television? Red and Stimpy and
Oh no, brown cow.
Dig on pork butts and taters, Red and Stimpy. Oh god, these shows, man. These shows.
Hey, we haven't talked about by today's standards one of the worst, Johnny Bravo, mate.
See, I quite like Johnny Bravo as a kid. I thought that was quite a good one, but like,
No. I don't mean in standard of like cartoon, but I mean his actions by today's standards would not fly.
Yeah, that's true. Like, he's just like,
there's a reason why he's off the air, you know.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that they just probably didn't want to do anything else with the character, but like by 2021 standards, Johnny Bravo
would be cancelled.
Johnny Bravo would be in prison for sexual assault or something. Like, he's like just this muscle dude into grease. He's got like the greaser kind of style, you know? Got like the tall, slick back hair, the sunglasses. He's fucking jacked, and he's just constantly trying to pick up women.
Yeah.
Because he thinks he's the hottest shit around. And it's just a really, really weird show.
It's one of those ones where, like, I remember loving Johnny Bravo as a kid, but I don't really remember many episodes of it. Like, nothing really stood out to me that much.
I don't remember any episodes.
Nah.
Well, I do remember, which is also creepy, especially now that I'm remembering it very vividly. Do you remember he had a neighbor, a little girl?
Yes, yeah.
And that little girl was in love with him.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I don't.
It's a very problematic cartoon nowadays.
I don't want to talk about Johnny Bravo anymore.
Yeah.
No,
I know. At least it shows how far we've progressed as a society.
I think so. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When 20 years ago, that was fine.
Still.
Now it is not, and we all know why. Because you should respect women, and for God's sake, don't be a fucking perv.
Yes, there you go. That's a quote from this episode.
This is ironically coming from a channel called Cultured Boys, okay?
Yeah.
Take our advice. Don't be a fucking perv.
Yeah, there we go. I remember though, did you ever remember the game? I think it came out must have been like half a decade ago. It was a Cartoon Network battle game Very similar to Smash Bros.
I think there was a couple of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I remember those used to come out quite a lot. Unless I'm also bundling in the kart races they used to do in the whole thing. All of those I tend to ignore because they're not great.
I remember the kart racing one. I didn't play that one. I didn't buy it, but no, I remember that one. But there was one on Xbox 360, and Johnny Bravo was actually a character in it, and it had like Dexter's Lab. It had
I think I remember that one because it might have had Ben 10 in it.
yeah, Ben 10 was in it. Yeah, that's right. It had Billy and Mandy.
Oh, dude, we've got to talk about Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Oh my god.
Oh, for sure. One thing though, I was just to finish on my Johnny Bravo point quick. It's funny enough, when I was looking through all the descriptions of all the shows that were in that game, it was Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Lab who are actually like Seth MacFarlane works on them.
Yeah, I knew about Seth MacFarlane working on Johnny Bravo. I can't remember where I saw that. I didn't know he worked on Dexter's Laboratory, though.
Yeah, he was on Dexter. And I think, like, someone works on Samurai Jack as well. There was one of them. Like, there's someone quite famous that works on it at the start, but I can't remember what the exact details were.
I can't remember where I learned it, but, like, you're right. A lot of that animation scene at the time were all basically... It was like a really small community. Like, pretty much everyone has worked together at some point. And then some of those people who started as, like, lower-level positions on, like, the cartoons we watched as kids, then in the 2000s onwards, the cartoons we would have watched then are like their cartoons, which is like really interesting if you think about it. Because like, again, like we said, Seth MacFarlane, famous for Family Guy, American Dad, you know, Less So Cleveland Show.
Remember that? What was that, like 2 seasons?
But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Seth MacFarlane worked on these old cartoons as a writer, like probably worked his way up and then had his own series, which are still going. Like a lot of those people like work together, and it's pretty friggin' crazy.
But yes, anyway, what we were saying before, Billy and Mandy.
Yes. It's weird to think. Do you remember it wasn't originally just the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy? It used to be the Grim Adventures and Evil Konkani.
Yeah, because I think the original show name was Grim and Evil, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss Evil Konkani. I like that.
That was like one of my favorite parts as well. Like I thought like I kind of preferred it a little bit over Grim and
See, this is why I started this show with you.
yeah.
You are a cultured boy like myself. Evil Konkani, at least in the early days, was way better than Billy and Mandy.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Like Billy and Mandy only got good after they dropped Evil Konkani.
Yeah, 100%.
Because their early episodes were just like, oh god, what is this garbage?
Yeah, you kind of like want to skip past that bit and you want to go to like the Evil Konkani part. And I think I liked Evil Konkani's design as a character as well, because he is literally like a brain and like...
Wasn't he a brain and a stomach on a purple bear?
Yeah, it was just like such a random thing. And then, who was it? It was General Scar as well, wasn't it?
Scar, who was basically his right-hand man trying to take over. There was another character, wasn't there?
I feel there was 3 of them.
I feel like it was like a female assistant or something. It's bad that we both say, oh, Evil Konkani was way better. I actually can't remember an episode.
No, I think you're right. I could tell you loads of Billy and Mandy episodes, but I probably can't tell you an Evil Konkani one. You're right. I love the aesthetic of it. I think there was like one point where like there's one character I remember where like he was made like completely out of metal or something. It was like Evil Konkani's like arch rival or something.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and then like...
This is so bad. I can't... God, we're fucking... How can we say we like this show more than the other one?
And then you just
we
don't
know
remember anything.
anything. Jesus.
Yeah. God, I wish I could actually recall anything about it, but I really can't.
I mean, to be fair, that was the early 2000s. So it's been a good, I don't know, probably like 17 years.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that long.
It's been a long time. Like, it's 2021 now. Let's say it came out maybe 2004.
Jeez.
Maybe a little bit earlier. But yeah, even then, that is still like about 17 years.
It's nuts.
And Evil Konkani was only on maybe about a year, 2 years at best.
I don't even think it was that long. I think it was only one... I think it must have been one season that they had Evil Konkani.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I remember Evil Konkani looking really good.
Yeah.
And Billy and Mandy looking really, not shitty, but like kind of weird in comparison. But then as soon as they dropped Evil Konkani, like Billy and Mandy almost took up what it looked like. Do you know what I mean? Like they adopted that style. Because I remember like Billy used to look really dumpy and weird.
I mean, it's not too far different. Like in the
I know, but like, do you know, like the modern iteration is a little more like refined?
yeah, I get you.
But like, I remember, I don't know why, I feel like I remember Billy being way fatter and way dumpier.
Yeah, I can kind of imagine. Like, I imagine like the designs of the characters just improved over time as well. Like, I think Mandy probably looked a little bit less like static as well. Like, sort of probably like better. Like, I don't know if static's the right word actually. Just like more.
It's hard to describe,
Yeah.
but like, it definitely, I feel like they probably just took the team from Evil Concani and went, you work on this now.
Yeah. 100%. Or like they just put all their focus on Grim and Evil. And Grim Adventures. But one thing that did make me laugh about that is that Grim just got more and more Jamaican as the episodes went on.
Yeah.
Because he started off slightly, like in the first season, and he just went full on Jamaican skeleton, and it was like the best thing ever.
Was it ever explained why he was Jamaican, or were we just supposed to accept that he was Jamaican?
I have no clue. Absolutely no clue, mate. It's it just happened. Like you can't even explain that. It's just like suddenly he's just like maybe there was
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Might have to look it up later.
But we got to talk about one of the most what I feel is one of the most iconic moments of Grim Adventures. It was Fredburger.
Oh, okay. I had two possibilities in my mind, and what that was one of them.
What was the other one?
The other one, I thought you was going to talk about, what was it? I think they called it Super Chicken Z, the Dragon Ball parody.
Oh, that's another moment that does stick in my mind, actually. Yeah.
But we'll talk about that after, because Fredburger is the best.
It's like an episode. Like he's in an episode where it doesn't even focus on Billy and Mandy and Grim. It focuses on a court case, and Fredburger's there, and the jury just like fucking shit up with like Nathan, you do it best because I know you do this better than me.
I just want to preface this. We have a friend, I kind of wish he was here, who does it even better than either of us. He cracks us up every time because it's so good. I don't remember any lines from that episode, but Fredburger from the episode where they like owe him a favor or something and they have to hang out with him, and it's like, yes, my name is Fredburger. Yes. What's the green one? Mint. What's the brown one? Like, I feel like I feel like I'm a little off, and I'm like,
that is sick. That is like
I definitely feel like I'm off. We're gonna have to get our mate. I probably won't get him to record anything, but I just want to hear him do it.
Yeah. Oh man, that is brilliant. But he's just so iconic. Like for me, like I think it wasn't even until later seasons where he turns up.
What, I think he appeared in maybe 4 episodes at most, and that's a high estimate. It might have actually been like 2.
But even then, like he made like such an impact for me in that series, and it was just like.
Who didn't get impacted by the dumpy green little dumb elephant? Yes, Fredburger.
Jesus. Oh man. But yes, chicken. Is it Chicken Ball Z? Was it called that?
I think it was Super Chicken Ball Z.
Yeah.
And the premise was it was a karate tournament, I'm pretty sure, and it was a whole full-on Dragon Ball parody because it was Mandy was the champion, Billy was the challenger, I believe, and it was them training, and at the end I'm pretty sure they did a Super Saiyan parody.
They definitely, yeah, it was 100% they went Super Saiyan at the end of it. I think like Billy ended up taking like some sort of like drug or like a drink or something that made him like get super powerful, and then like somehow it ended up like
knowing the show, I'm probably right, but I feel like I remember Billy's final move was his nose like getting all muscular and vascular and fucking like turned into a fist or something.
Yeah. Oh my god, that just reminded me of another episode where I think Billy gets haunted by like a ghost or something, and like he's getting bullied, and the ghost is trying to like help him like stop the bullies, and like it literally looks like Billy's got a stand because the ghost is coming out of his mouth, and it's like some old school like Victorian ghost thing.
Oh, I think I remember one of the gags being that like that ghost had the club foot as well, and Billy's like, "Oh, you put that in my mouth."
Oh man, Jesus Christ! I feel like That's the thing with this show, this episode right now, is that a lot of it is nostalgia, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember this cartoon, but I can't remember the exact episodes behind it. So 50% of it will be like, oh, I like this, but
Do you know what? Here's another one. That's exactly what you described. I cannot recall an episode, but codename Kids Next Door.
okay. Do you want to know the episode I recall from that? Because I absolutely love this show as well.
Please do, because I actually don't remember any.
Okay, so there's one episode where like each of the five kids is like basically telling a story, and but they tell it in a different way.
So it's an anthology.
Yeah,
If that's what it's called, isn't it? Anthology? Like,
I think so. Yeah, it's like they're all just trying to recall this story, and number four's story is Dragon Ball Z.
oh my god. Now you've said it, it's like come flooding back into my mind. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
because I remember like I can't remember who the codename Kids Next Door's enemies were. Guys, I remember their father.
It was what was it? Something like the well-mannered kid from up the street or something.
Yes, it was something like that. It was very, very, very close to that, or if not, that's spot on. But in number four's story, he plays Goku. Like he literally has like a orange hoodie on, and he goes Super Saiyan, and he blows like bubblegum, and it turns into a Kamehameha. And the well-mannered kids is basically Frieza with 5 heads.
I remember this now. Oh my god.
Yeah. Like that is basically that's what like when you mentioned about the Chicken Ball Z thing, that's what made me think that, because I remember that episode so vividly because it's Dragon Ball, and anything that references Dragon Ball in a cartoon, I was like, oh my god, this is sick.
Oh wow. Just a wave of nostalgia.
And there was, what was it, the 4th flavor? There's like an episode of Codename Kids Next Door where it's like they go to discover the 4th flavor of ice cream.
Oh yeah. Dude, this is just you like unlocking distant memories somewhere deep in my brain. Oh my god, I remember that episode now. Yeah, what was it? There was like a golden ice cream scoop or some shit as well.
It was something like that because they had to go to a temple to find it or something. As a kid, I was always like, for the 4th flavor, but like there's like so many flavors of ice cream. Like, but obviously like the whole like it's the 3 like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and then
See, the key thing I always took from Kids Next Door as a kid was their 2x4 technology. The amount of time, there must have been a bunch of kids out there that like, I could make that, and then probably tried to make like shit out of planks of wood.
oh god, yeah. I think if I was if I was like able to design anything as a kid, I probably would have tried, but I was absolutely useless. So
Yeah, same. I probably drew it on a piece of paper because I couldn't actually make it in real life, or mainly because I would probably walk near a plank of wood and be told, get away from that.
yeah, exactly. He's like probably get a splinter or something.
Not because it's dangerous, but yeah, like not because it's dangerous, but more just like stupid kid, get away from the plank of wood.
Talking of planks of wood, it's a good
Here we go,
transition,
yes,
isn't it? Good
yes.
transition.
Yes. Oh my god.
Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Okay, so like again, this is another one of my favorite shows. Like I think I've literally said this to everything, every show that I've listened to. Like this is my favorite show. This is my favorite show.
Look, right. There's no way we can't not say that phrase. It's an episode about us being nostalgic over old cartoons.
Exactly. But oh man, I feel like Ed, Ed and Eddie are like so underrepresented compared to some of the other like old Cartoon Network shows.
They are. I still haven't even watched the movie that ends the entire series.
I haven't either. No, that's like. But someone told me it's like about Eddie's brother actually.
I think that was me. I read
Was
it on
you?
Wikipedia. Yeah, Eddie's brother comes back after seasons and seasons of Eddie being like, "Oh yeah, my older brother's the shit." Turns out he's a massive dickhead. He bullies Eddie, and all the kids of the cul-de-sac basically band together to get rid of his, not like off him, not.
Wow, that would be a very dark end to the series.
They get rid of him or something, and then like the ending is like finally all the kids of the cul-de-sac and the Ed boys are like friends now.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
It was like a really nice end to the series, but I just never watched the movie.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of those ones where like I think the series actually ended by the time I pretty much stopped watching Cartoon Network. To be fair.
For me, it ended when they started going to school.
Oh god, yeah, actually, yeah, no, you're right there. Like that was just. I don't know what they're thinking of there, but yeah, that was a...
Well, because like, okay, yeah, they get up to whatever, hijinks or whatever in school, but the best part about Ed, Ed and Eddie was them trying to scam 50 cents or 50p out of people so that they could go buy a jawbreaker. But they're like, the other thing is like, they've got to be like, what, like 13, 14, probably?
Oh god, like yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not that young and they're not that old. So it shouldn't be that hard to get 50p.
Oh god, like
Because I remember they always charged 25 cents for anything, right? And they always needed 50 so they could get one jawbreaker. I mean, there's 3 of them, so that, you know, they needed $1.50. But again, even when I was 13 or 14, I don't think it was that hard to scrape together 50p.
I think I'd like get like probably like £5 pocket money, maybe a week, and then I'd be like,
Mate, even if I didn't, I could probably have found like 25p, like 25 pence somewhere in the house. Do you know what I mean? I probably would have, more than likely, I would have found a pound coin somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah, like, I don't know how it was so hard for them to get 50 cents together. Like, what are you doing?
and then there's also the size of those jawbreakers, which is just like fucking massive. Like, what the for 25 cents or what, like for 50 cents? These are like fucking good prices for good jawbreakers.
In it. They are undercharging for those. Because, you know, after that show, Jawbreakers got huge for us over here as well.
Definitely.
And do you remember buying the one that's like a fist size that takes you like a
yeah.
week to eat? And you're like, I thought this was going to be amazing, like in Ed, Ed and Eddie, but this is just a complete nightmare.
Yeah, it's like in the cartoon, it's like, oh yeah, they just have it there and it's like awesome.
Well, it's not even have it there. They shove this huge fucking basketball. Well, it's bigger than a basketball, but like they shove the whole thing in their face and you're like, that looks amazing.
And literally it's like the size of their head.
And then in real life, you get one that's the size of your fist, right? You can't put even an eighth of it in your mouth,
No.
right? You sat there like licking it the whole time, and then you get maybe a quarter of the way in, and you realize it's sort of hollow in the middle. And that this was a really bad idea because it's just pure sugar. Now your hand is sticky. This thing needs to sit in its packet or some sort of other container and is now stuck to the container. And the longer you eat this, you're like, Ed, Ed and Eddie lied to me.
It gave us false hope of jawbreakers.
Yeah, did it not?
Oh, man.
I felt lied to the first time I had one of those massive jawbreakers. Like,
See, I only had the small one. I never actually experienced the large.
stick to the smaller ones that you can eat within 2 minutes and has a little bit of bubble gum in the middle. Okay, that will save you so much more time and is a lot less hassle.
Yeah, that's the one I remember. The bubblegum ones in the middle.
Also, those are even cheaper than 50p. I'm pretty sure you used to get those for like 10p. 5 of them for 10, 20p.
Like dirt cheap in corner shops. Like it's one of those ones.
So Ed and Eddie lied to me, and I feel that in my soul.
Oh man, that's good. It's a good show. It's a good show. I'm trying to think if there's.
There's so many episodes of that, like when they broke Kevin's window with something and then they blamed it on the Monkey Boys, and then it barely focuses on the Ed Boys anymore because it's basically like the whole cul-de-sac group going on an adventure to find these so-called Monkey Boys, which is just the Eds fucking around.
I've totally forgot about the Monkey Boys episode. Like that was like.
I remember what it was. I even remember how it starts. It's because they were trying to make an amusement park, so they hung a bunch of armchairs from a washing line, and then Big Ed spins it too hard, and obviously because it's loosely attached, one of the armchairs flies in and smashes up part of Kevin's house. It was a window, but like a fucking armchair goes through the window.
Oh my god. What else was there? There was Rolf as well. He was just like,
Yeah, vaguely European.
Ed Boys. Oh man, was it That's My Horse? Is that what it is? He had a song.
I don't remember that.
It's like Double D has to basically play the jug flute or whatever it is, and it's like.
I remember.
That's my horse. They both just slap each other.
Oh, I think it is That's My Horse, or like That's My Goat or something.
Oh, it's one of the two.
Because again, Rolf is like vaguely European, so it's kind of bordering on racist.
God, man. And yeah, Johnny 2x4 with Plank, who we just mentioned earlier. Like, there's a transition.
Oh my god. Do you remember when one of the later episodes where Johnny 2x4 is really like sleep deprived and worn out because he's giving a tour to Plank's family?
I forgot about that.
And you're like, why are you so stressed out for your imaginary friends?
What a concept. Jesus Christ.
Well, the funnier thing is like Plank is literally a small plank of wood that he's drawn a face on. And then Plank's parents were like two full-size like 2x4s with faces drawn on them and clothing. Because I remember Plank's dad having like a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. You have a mustache as well.
Yeah, I think he
a
did. And I think Johnny 2x4 also made like, you know, like a tissue box camera or something for him.
Oh my God. Like, it's just...
There's one more episode I wanna talk about before we close. Do you remember the episode where the Ed boys get loads of cardboard boxes and in like their alleyway they made a city, and like,
oh my God, yes.
It was basically all the kids getting like swept up by the big city, but it was literally cardboard in their local alleyway. And it was every time was just like a cardboard cutout they made. I remember there was part where they were like lining up or something. Like the other kids were lining up, but it's a bunch of cardboard people.
Yeah.
And I remember the Ed boys would like just take up different roles. Like one time, what was it? It was either Jimmy or Johnny 2x4 almost got hit by Eddie, who was in a wagon, like a little trailer thingy, pretending to be a guy in a car. And you're like, how did you almost get run over? Because clearly Eddie's tried to hit you instead of, do you know what I mean? Like this whole episode I thought was really funny. Just because it
was, nah. As soon as you said about the cardboard city, that brought back memories. That was like such a good episode. Oh man. There's another one that I remember is the sunburn one.
Sunburn.
I don't know if you remember this. It's basically where like I think they all go down to the beach at one point, and Ed, like the Eds basically they go on top of, they couldn't get a good spot, so they went on top of a cliff.
Oh yeah.
But it's close to the sun, and they all get sunburnt. And I think it's Double D that like has like a handprint.
Yeah. Oh wow. I haven't thought about that episode in ages.
Another one is the quarantine episode, which is very relevant to these days. But I think like the whole cul-de-sac basically just gets sick, or like someone gets sick.
It's like the flu or something.
Yeah, and like I think one of it, like somehow that like one person contracts and then the whole cul-de-sac ends up like being like a massive like tent.
Yeah.
Like it's just all.
I remember that. Or do you remember one line that always stuck with me because it was the last 2 minutes of that particular episode? Summer rains, you can never predict them.
Yes, this is literally what I was gonna say next. And it just like brightens up. It's like summer rains, and it's like, stop saying it.
Yeah, it literally ends up being like you hitting a recording again and again. Like at some point, I feel like it overlaps. Like summer rains, summer rains. You know, Double D.
Is there anything else we want to tick off before we close up the episode?
There's too much. Like in every other episode we've ever made. Maybe in another episode we'll continue. I don't know. But seriously, thank you to anyone who has been watching our stuff. We're doing this for fun, and we don't really put it out there, but we do appreciate anyone who does watch. And to those, again, who do watch, thank you very much. And don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified when our next video comes out.
Hells yeah.
We do try our best to get one out a week. Sometimes life gets in the way, so we miss one or two, but we're trying. Again, this is supposed to be like fun for us. We're not trying to take this too seriously, but we are trying. We're trying for anyone who might want to.
Yeah, but thank you for watching, guys. Join us next time where we discuss something else random as hell. It could be cartoons, could be games, could be manga, anime. Who knows?
It might be that Simpsons episode. Who knows? It could be the Simpsons episode.
Cool. It might be Simpsons. Who knows? Right, guys. Catch you later.
Bye.